Israel has attacked the Yemeni port city of Hodeidah.
This is not Lebanon or Gaza, but almost 2,000 kilometers away in Yemen. The target, one of the country's biggest ports and 2 power stations.
As you point out, this hasn't happened in like 50 years the way it's happening now.
Reports from Yemen say at least 4 people have been killed in Israeli airstrikes. Almost 30 people were wounded in the attacks.
And this is really opening up multiple fronts for the Israeli military and other security agencies to manage simultaneously. Israel hasn't really confronted anything like this going back almost 50 years to the Yom Kippur War and the 1967 war. So this is a multi-front war that is opening up well outside of Israel's immediate borders, and no one knows what the next phase of this will look like.
So these live pictures out of central Beirut, this military response from Israel has been extraordinary, whichever way you look at it, and backing it up to the taking out of walkie-talkies and pagers, and then you've got the Hezbollah leader taken out, you've got these hits on Hezbollah, you've got the hits on Hamas, then you've got the Houthis.
The only problem is this, Pete. I think the Israelis have got themselves a forever war. So they're going to be on a war footing for many years.
They probably already had one, though.
They probably already
surrounded by enemies.
Officials in Lebanon say almost 800 people have been killed by Israeli strikes since Monday. The US has described Nasrallah's death as a measure of justice for his many victims, but it's calling again for diplomacy.
Speaking yesterday, the Houthis' military spokesperson Yahya Saraya said they wouldn't stop until Israel ended its aggression against Gaza and Lebanon.
More than 1,000 people, including at least 90 children, have been killed in Israeli attacks on Lebanon in the past 2 weeks. The Israeli military has continued intensive strikes across Lebanon today, including pre-dawn strikes in Beirut.
And now this morning, the IDF says it killed another high-ranking Hezbollah official. Of course, it comes just a day after Hezbollah confirmed its longtime leader was killed.
The Israeli military says that it has assassinated all of these senior Hezbollah commanders.
Israeli fighter planes are unchallenged in the skies over Lebanon. They strike targets at will. 2 strikes this evening went back into the same neighborhood where Nasrallah was killed. Israel says a commander in the Hezbollah intelligence operation, Khalil Yassin, was killed. The IDF says Hezbollah and Nasrallah chose violence when they fired into Israel almost a year ago.
Today's strikes in Yemen highlight another dangerous front in a war that threatens to engulf the region.
I don't remember anything like this either, with, again, these multiple fronts happening and no clear end in sight. So this is a really dangerous moment for the region. And it's not clear what Israel's objectives are for any of these multiple fronts they are now engaged in.
But it comes just days after the U.S. proposed a 21-day ceasefire that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu seemingly ignored during his UN speech Friday in New York.
We will continue degrading Hezbollah until all our objectives are met.
But one military analyst says it could lead to another major escalation, with Hezbollah showing no signs of surrender.
This could be a major war. Hassan Nasrallah came into power because of a previous assassination. There are lots. Hezbollah is a movement. It's more than one man.
The rocket fire continues. Alarms have been sounding all over the north of Israel and central Israel as well, as a ballistic missile was fired out of Yemen. It was intercepted.
In Tel Aviv, people ran for shelter as air raid sirens filled the air.
I've been here for 12 days. I've been very struck by the tempo and the scale of Israel's escalation.
Israel has ascended to the leadership position in the world in the global fight against terror. Israel is leading the world. Israel is fighting the battles, not just of its own. It's defending America. It's defending all the shipping routes in the Red Sea that as to which America, Europe, and lots of countries are being attacked by the Houthis. It's all Israel right now, and frankly, they're bringing blessings to the world. They're bringing security to the world. And in America, it's just a vacuum, and it's a shame because while Israel's doing a great job, it really is America that should be leading this fight, not Israel.
But we have Israel now fighting in Gaza, in Lebanon, and tonight in Yemen. So this is already a wider regional conflict. The fear is, will it become a wider regional war? Well, I have to say, if we look at the direction of travel, that is where everything is headed, and we are not seeing any diplomacy gaining traction. Many in Lebanon now fear becoming another Gaza. They fear becoming a long war. We already have 1,000 dead here. I was here in 2006 in the last war. It took a month to get to that death toll. So US military experts are saying this could get a lot worse before it gets a lot worse.
This conflict did not start on October 7th. I feel like it's strange that I have to keep reminding people of this. And this is not just about Hamas on October 7th. If Hamas was to disappear tomorrow, this conflict would continue. You know, this conflict long predates Hamas and will likely outlive it.
المطار ده نعم تحرك 200 المطار يا رب الله.
As we watch this view again over Tel Aviv, and you see what appear to be impacts now on the ground.
We suspected that there would be an attack, but this is significantly larger. Israel has warned all of its citizens to take all precautions to try and stay underground if they can.
Oh God. Okay, guys, we got to get off the roof. These are coming down right next to us here.
And on the right side of the screen is a live look at where a suspected terror hit in a very crowded cafe restaurant, popular area inside Tel Aviv. There are pictures which we cannot independently verify and many videos of at least 2 gunmen who were firing on people at close range.
Israel has been very clear that if Iran attacks Israel, it is going to respond, and the response is going to be very severe.
נפילות קשות בנבטים, שומע? וואו, 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 וואו! הכל נופל לנבטים, אני אומר לך, מתקפה אחת החדקות. בקר, בקר. مطار مطار على النباتين، مطار على المطار. راح مطار الصرية، راح مطار الجيش. يا أويسي كيف الغدة مركزي.
The Israeli army confirms nearly 200 missiles were launched into Israel from Iran. Iran's Revolutionary Guard is saying the missile launches are in retaliation.
So I think we're in a very, very dangerous moment for the Middle East, and it will affect America, it will affect Europe.
The question now, as Trey has pointed out, is how will Israel respond? There's been a warning from the IRGC, from the leaders of Iran saying, do not respond. It is unlikely that Israel will heed that warning. We've heard that Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader, plans to lead Friday prayers in Tehran on Friday of this week. That is a very unusual move by the supreme leader. He does not do
Former President Donald Trump today, again, referring to the conflict as a possible World War III.
Short time ago, Iran launched 181 ballistic missiles at Israel, and
I've been talking about World War III for a long time, and I don't want to make predictions because the predictions always come true. We're not going to make, but they are very close to global catastrophe. We have a non-existent president and a non-existent vice president who should be in charge, but nobody knows what's going on.
In northern Israel, it was clear this attack was different.
This is tough now. Right now in October, world seems like it's falling apart.
Yeah, it's not just this, it's the longshoremen, it's the economy, everything's going up.
Okay, to that point, an escalation that draws the U.S. in, might that be an issue where we could see the U.S. going after Iran's nuclear program? We know that that has been a thorn in the Biden administration's side for some time now.
Oh God. Okay, guys, we gotta get off the roof. These are coming down right next to us here.
Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu vowing to retaliate against Iran for the attack.
But you know, Israel has not had an attack like this from Iran in its history. And the mood of defiance there you heard from Benjamin Netanyahu suggests that Israel is going to respond with force. It's another incredibly dangerous moment in a conflict now which has lasted almost exactly a year and is spreading across the Middle East.
Iran says it was in retaliation for the assassinations of the leaders of Hezbollah and Hamas in recent weeks. And as Israeli air defenses were fending off the missile attack, a shooting on the ground in Tel Aviv has left 8 people dead and 9 people wounded. At least one shooter reportedly got off of mass transit and opened fire using a semi-automatic rifle. The United States played an active role in Israel's defense.
The country says 90% of those missiles hit their targets, the U.S. confirming our forces helped to defend against the attack.
And again, this is significant because it is the first time, according to Iranian state television, that the Iranians used the Fatah 4 hypersonic ballistic missile. Back in April, when Iran attacked Israel, they didn't use hypersonic ballistic missiles of this caliber, the latest that they have in their arsenal.
The military says that there have been other strikes, but as far as we know, in a very sad irony, the only person killed.
It is Thursday, October 3rd, 2024, and I have an emergency alert to share with you guys. Right now it is 31 minutes past midnight here in the eastern United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from Syria. So it appears that Israel has struck a Russian air base in Syria, the Khmamim air base. I don't know if I'm saying that right. This is in the Latakia section of coastal Syria, and we're hearing from various credible sources, including Sky News Arabia, that a Russian weapons or ammunition depot was hit. Okay, so here we have a picture showing some of the ammunition and weapons cooking off after this Israeli airstrike on the Russian weapons depot. Here we have some video footage. Let me play this for you. So what you're hearing is all the weapons and ammunition cooking off after the Israeli airstrike. So this is at the Russian air base in Syria. Israel just struck a Russian air base, and it appears they targeted the weapons and ammunition depot, which was supposedly being used by Hezbollah. This ammunition at this depot was going to Hezbollah.
A yes on 2Q means a stronger Denver health and a healthier Denver for